Hi guys, welcome to season 2, episode 7 of the Girl Get Up podcast.
A safe space where no story is too broken, no question too heavy, and no dream too far gone. Here we talk about real things, underage and unwanted pregnancies, early marriages, and toxic relationships, and the silent battles so many girls face. But this is also a place for hope, a place to rise, a place to heal, and a place to step into the life God has called you to live boldly, confidently, and without apology. I am your host, Naomi Bamdele, and together we will break the silence and find the courage to get up again. Girl, you're seen, you're loved, and you're not alone. Let's get into today's episode.
Hey family, and welcome back to the Girl Get Up podcast. Last week we talked about something very important. It is okay if you need to start again. And the response from that episode reminded me of something. So many of us are quietly in a season of restarting. Restarting our plans, restarting our confidence, and restarting our direction in life. But after giving yourself permission to start again, another question usually shows up. Now what? What do I do next? How do I figure out everything? What if I make the wrong move? And suddenly the idea of starting again becomes overwhelming because you feel like you need to have your whole life figured out before you take the next step. So today's episode is titled, You Don't Need the Whole Plan, Just the Next Step. One of the biggest pressures young women face today is the idea that we are supposed to have everything figured out. By a certain age, people expect you to know your career, your purpose, your finances, your relationships, your entire future. And when life doesn't look like the plan you imagined, it can feel like you're behind everyone else. You scroll on social media and it looks like everyone else has clarity. Everyone else has direction. Everyone else has their life together. But what many people don't tell you is this. Most people are figuring it out as they go. Life is not a straight line. It's a journey of learning, adjusting, failing, growing, and trying again. The problem is not that you don't have the whole plan. The problem is believing that you're supposed to. Many people are not stuck because they lack ability. They are stuck because they are waiting for perfect clarity. They think, I'll start when I'm sure. I'll move when I know the whole picture. I'll take action when I'm confident. But clarity doesn't usually come before movement. Clarity comes through movement. Sometimes the only way to understand your path is by taking a step and learning from it. When you refuse to move because you're waiting for certainty, you stay in the same place. And staying in the same place can slowly drain your confidence, your motivation, and even your hope. Think about this. No one climbs a mountain by seeing the entire path at once. They climb it step by step. The same is true for life. You don't need to know what the next 5 years will look like. You don't even need to know what the next year will look like. Sometimes all you need to know is, what is the next right step for me today? Maybe the next right step is applying for that opportunity, learning a new skill, having an honest conversation, resting so you can regain your strength, and starting the idea you've been postponing. Small steps might feel insignificant, but over time they build direction. For many of us, part of the fear comes from wanting control. We want to know that everything will work out before we commit to the journey, but faith does not work that way. Faith often looks like taking the next step without seeing the whole road, trusting that God will guide you, correct you, and redirect you along the way. Sometimes God doesn't reveal the whole plan because if we saw everything at once, we might feel too overwhelmed to begin. Instead, it gives us enough light for the next step, and then the next one, and then the next one. So if you're in a season where life feels uncertain, I want you to give yourself grace. You are not failing because you are still figuring things out. You are growing, you are learning, and you are becoming. Your journey doesn't have to look like everyone else. The most important thing is not having the perfect plan. The most important thing is continuing to move forward. Even if your steps are small, even if your progress are quiet, even if nobody else sees it yet. So before we end today's episode, I want you to sit with this question. What is one small step you've been afraid to take because you feel like you need the whole plan first? Not the whole future, not the perfect strategy, but the next step. Just the next step. Because sometimes the life you're praying for begins with a step you've been postponing. If this episode spoke to you, share it with a girl who might also be feeling overwhelmed about the future. And remember this, you don't need to have everything figured out. You just need the courage to take the next step. Girl, get up, rise to purpose. Thank you for spending this time with me on the Girl Get Up podcast. If today's conversation speaks to your heart, share this episode with a sister, a friend, or someone who needs to hear they are not alone. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And remember, no matter where you've been or what you faced, you have the power to rise again. Until next Tuesday, keep going, keep growing, and girl, get up.